What is a new faith? The great dangers of today are the opposition to spirituality attacking from the rich lands of the northwest, and religious fanaticism finding shelter in the poor countries of the southeast. They are the two bishops who double-check diagonally King Human. These dangers can only be annihilated through a new thought. The new faith is not yet another faith. It is a new way of living the old faith. A way of not killing for our ideas, of not dueling them, and of not merely agreeing to disagree, but of acknowledging that we are all equal, different, but together, honoring the traditions of our parents and ancestors. These traditions put together are our most precious heritage. The duel of the two fanaticisms can give birth to death, but the love of the difference will make the world reborn. The greatness of humans. The greatness of humans lies not in their origin, but in their destination. In the world, there are a few people who can do a lot of evil, and a lot of people who can do a few things to prevent them. Be one of the latter. Be one of the latter. Your beliefs are important, but so are others' beliefs. Do not try to convince others of the truth of your beliefs. Be open to argument, debate, but never give up on what you hold most dear, and never ask others to do that. If all people believe the same things, we will always be in a Stone Age. Great ideas were born out of debate. Diversity is the yeast of civilization. Harmony and progress are the fruits of the love between those who are different. Only together we can find solutions, but only if we do not think the same. If you don't love yourself truly, if you don't trust in your personal value, you are nothing. Fear and cowardice are mortal dangers that await you. They give birth to hypocrisy, flight from responsibility, undue shame, fear of what others say, lack of mutual help, abandoning the other in pain. Greed is born by fear of not having or of losing. Vanity is born by fear of letting show your lack of worth. Some people change when they conquer power. They become arrogant. They don't feel powerful because they know that power is not theirs. Arrogance is born by fear of not losing one's status, which is everything for them because they feel they are nothing. Some people support you as long as they feel safe, and when they see their status menaced, they abandon you or pretend they don't even know you. They may whisper in your ear, "You're good, go ahead," but they don't want to get involved anymore. Others fear that you may take their places, and they steal your ideas and don't acknowledge that you are better than they are. Envy is born by fear to try to be as good or as accomplished as the one you envy. Do you envy anyone? If you hate yourself so much that you can't admire them, then try to do just a small part of what they did. But don't do that because you are lazy or you don't think you can. If someone is much poorer than yourself, instead of thinking you are better, help them get on their feet so that you can learn to walk too. But you can't because you don't have the time for that, or you're ashamed, You can, because your soul is more than the point of a needle. If someone is much richer than yourself, and you know that they have stolen, then better turn them over than complain. Some truths do hurt. Some truths don't suit us. Some truths are like drilling a hole in the top of our head. If we will not try to be honest with ourselves, if we will not start to know and accept our true worth, we will drown in the pitiful swamp of our own fears. We will continue to live our worthless illusions. We will think that we are princesses and queens, owners of castles, when in fact we beg for a cigarette in the street. If you will not treat yourself as human, you will not be able to be mere animals. The hands of women. Brothers, from so many words, the world will perish like a body consumed by illness. You can't build peace on the balance of terror. Do you want to save the world? Put it in the hands of women. They will never send their children to die in war. How to travel through life. How to travel through life. The one who steps over dead bodies arrives soon on the mountain top and, getting dizzy, falls from a great height. The one who sits on others' shoulders sees far away, but soon stops because the others get tired of carrying him. The one who holds the others' hands tight and pulls them, leaning on them when he gets tired, goes far and starts a new country where he will be the king. The good teacher. To want to make the others be like you because you think that's the right thing to do is not a duty. It's not a proof of love. It's showing off your vanity and a sign of unhappiness. If you make someone repeat what you say, you turn them into a stone that will echo your dry voice. Better help them hear in themselves the echo of the words of the one who made them. Better help them listen to their soul beat. Help everyone to find within themselves the way to the truth of their life, because you can't live in their place. That's the true way to teaching. The stories of life. The life of every one of us is a story of which we are the main authors, but that we always write in collaboration. How beautiful that story is, that depends on our talent, but also on theirs. Sometimes the others want to pretend that they are the main authors, thinking that they know better how the story should go, or they try to take away all the rights and benefits of a story of our life. The best authors are always the most imitated, and they are proud that they can serve as role models for others' lives. But as always, plagiarism is not the recipe for success. Everyone must write their own lives as they know best, or they will never be themselves. They will only live half a life. Write a good story for your life. It is the story that lasts into the world. It's the story that we will read forever. Don't tell me you can't. Maybe some people told you that you are too young or have nothing to say. Maybe some people told you that your son has already set anyway. Maybe you feel that you are not so special, that you are not important too, and this very thought hurts you. You're wrong in sharing this view. In fact, the opposite is true. You can be as good as the best. Even if I'm like everyone, there's no duplicate. I'm unique. It all depends on how I can communicate. God created the world through will and word, remember? Of this world, you are a proud member. It only takes one word, and you can do the most wonderful things on earth. If you don't feel okay where you are, search for a place where you could follow your star. If you don't go to the sea, I bet no fish will enter your net. If you settle for less, your life is just a mess. The one who wants more lives more for sure. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe until now nobody cared about you. Maybe you just don't want to take your head out of the sand. But don't tell me you can't. Past does not end. If you fear tomorrow, think of yesterday. Good or bad, our history is everything, and we should cherish it. It can never be erased. We will all eventually die, but the faded relief can never be wiped out. Being is a real game that could not be lost. If we didn't exist, we would have nothing. Since we are, we have it all. You are sad that time passes by. Should it be fast, you would not be. You are sad that time doesn't turn back. Should it turn back, it would be like you never lived. Time can pass, but is never lost. Future dies out, becoming present. Present ends up being past, but past does not end. So let's try to make the most of our history. Let's try to make history. She is with you. When my mother left me, I asked God, "Oh Lord, please bring her back at least for a day or for good." Of course, I didn't expect him to do that, not even to answer me. But he answered, and he did what I asked in a dream experiment. Even now, I cannot understand why he did it, given that my request was so shallow. Here is his answer, translated into words. If I bring her back to you physically, you will not be well, even if you don't believe it. It would be too scary. Believe it or not, you got used to her physical disappearance since the moment she died. Moreover, she was old and sick. Now she's not anymore. Would you rather want her to be like that again? If I brought her back younger and healthier, it would be as if she never lived part of her life. She would not be herself. Would you want a mother as one wise as yourself? But the toughest part would be for you to know that you had to separate from her again. The second separation would be much tougher than the first. It would be unbearable and inevitable, because I love you all too much to enslave you to matter or to eternity. Believe in the miracle, but don't put your hope in the supernatural. I do not cheat. I'm the one who made the rules of the game. She is with you. That's what he told us. We didn't understand what was happening to us. We were never prepared for this. No one could ever be. You can't be prepared for anyone's death. You can't be prepared for your own death. But for this, you can't be. We thought that our little boy was no more. We thought that it was too little time. We thought that all was worthless. We thought that it would have been better for him if he had never been born. We thought that it would have been better for us if we had never been born. But we didn't know back then that duration does not matter. We didn't know that there was no destruction. There was only passing. We didn't know that passing was not destruction. We didn't know that past never died. Those minutes when we have hold our hands and looked each other in the eye were the most important time of our lives. It was then when we learned what love means, what communion means. It was then when we first felt that the whole thing was whole. Then we felt and we understood. That's what we told to each other. That's what he told us. That's what he told us. Missing someone. When you miss someone, you miss your relationship with that person. You miss you too. You miss your own past. But you are your past. You can't leave it, even if you want. In fact, you miss yourself. So if you find yourself, you don't miss them anymore. Then you can't go on until other person will miss you. Our whole life is nothing but a series of misses. We miss and are missed. To miss is not to suffer, but is to end suffering. Missing is the essence of need. It's good to miss and be missed. That means you exist. Now, you just have to also live. Now you just have to also live. The universal law of love. When someone truly loves you, even if they leave, you feel that they leave for you and not against you. When you love that person too, then and then alone she will return and be with you forever. Be direct, or how a sound relationship begins. He said, do you remember? We have said this straight, not to tell what we feel, but what we think about one another. At first you couldn't refrain yourself from telling me how much you adored me, or how much you hated me. As I pointed out repeatedly that telling me this means breaking the rules you gave up. Then I began feeling hostility from your part, but it was a healthy hostility. I felt it from the way you looked at me and the way you talked to me, not from what you did or what you said. As our relationship progressed, and I encouraged you to tell me openly what you thought about me, I felt that hostility fading away. She said, yes, other people talk so nicely to me that you might have thought that they were the best person, but in the end they actually proved to be so mean. But you were different. You said nothing at all, but when I was with you, I was feeling that you were really good inside. He said, one day you said, I think you're not good for me, and I consider leaving you. From that moment on, you became more focused on what we should do, on what should we do for me to be better for you, and I spent less time being distressed about your feelings for me. Now we can't think without one another. But we don't worry about that. We can't feel without one another. But we don't think about that. Now we truly are together. She said, truly, indeed. The Word of God. The law of common sense is the oldest and the only law that unites us all. After that came the laws transmitted to us through prophets and holy people. And after that, the laws created by people. But the message of God is not easily transmitted and understood. He does not tell us to harm. He does not tell us to harm or oppress other people. He does not tell some of us that we are the best or that only we are right. Any message, no matter from whom it comes and who transmits it, can be misunderstood and misinterpreted. However, the message sent into the world with every man and woman on their birthday never fails. Each one of us is a word of God. Let's listen. The revelation, birth, and life are undeserved rewards, just like inheriting a fortune or winning the lottery. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised, says Job. We have nothing to say in that matter. We can't ask for more than we have been given. It would be rude. It would be like when someone makes you a gift and you say, I don't like it. It's not enough. I want something bigger and more expensive. We are not afraid that the gift we receive will be taken back because we know that's not possible. Life, or whether it can be wiped out, but we want more. We want an eternal life. We want to be like God. But in fact, the life is this life is the eternal life. It's eternal just because time can't be turned back. What we lived remains lived. It depends mostly on us, what and how we live. The great revelation is that it's not the continuation that's important, but the existence as a whole. All that has been simply exists. There's no need to continue. There is no denial of known religious truth here, but on the contrary, there is a deeper understanding of them. To reach this truth, you don't have to be virtuous. Read mystical literature. Go to certain life experiences, nor to practice asceticism. Although all these may help some people, there's no need to be a religious person. This truth can be understood and lived under the authority of someone's teaching, not through personal effort, but is rather something that comes spontaneously and not through learning. It is a truth that insiders know and that can be misunderstood by those who do not live it. You can't teach others, but you can turn them into enlightened people. Each person is enlightened by him or herself. Some people say that this truth must not be said, that it produces turmoil, being misunderstood. In the past, people were burned alive if they said this kind of thing, being accused of heresy. But the true reason was revealing a secret that could lead to social unrest. I think now we are more educated and we can understand. I respect you as I respect myself, and I think you are at least as intelligent as I am. I would like you to reach this truth without having to go through what I did. This. The Eternal Testament. I'm just a man who, like others, receives a heritage and passes it on. I leave as a heritage to my descendants, a man who was a stranger in a strange land and who now is home in his homeland. A man who loved his friends so much that he gave them his life, and whom his friends loved so much that they gave him back their lives. A man who said that kindness is a mark of faith, and he who has not kindness has not faith. A man who found the way not in the sky, but in the heart. A man who shows how simple is the life that people make complicated. They are Jesus. They are Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. All of them, like others, are a man, the man, moments of eternity, or the great secrets of the insiders. Most people say that they believe in the afterlife, or in eternal life. But how many of them really know what that means? Life is deed. It is action. After your life ended, can you do anything anymore? Can you still work or play? Can there still be time after your time has passed? Great religions say that after life we continue to exist, but that we can't do anything to save ourselves if we didn't do that while we were living. That means we remain with what we lived. This existence is all that matters. It doesn't disappear, but it is not continued. What we didn't do, we can never do, and what we did, we can't take back. After we die, life does not continue, but it is completed. Do not be afraid of darkness. Only children fear it. Do not be afraid of rest. Adults really need it. People would like an extra time after life when they could do the same things they did in their life. Eat, drink, have fun, and if possible, even feel alive. But if they could do that, then life would be worthless. The value of life lies in that it is a one-way road that you can't erase and correct. You can't do takes, like in making a movie, until you get it right. Every moment is as important as eternity, because it's a part of it. There is no eternity without moments. God is eternity, and He gave every human a piece of His eternity. Let's take care and keep clean our piece of time in order not to bespeckle the eternity of God. Salvation, but from what? Many religions promise salvation, be it from the cycle of rebirth or from eternal punishment. The idea of salvation implies that people are in a precarious condition, in a critical state, being either fallen from an initial perfection and happiness, or imperfect creatures that strive to rise above their condition. But happiness, be it earthly or heavenly, is something that many are searching for without knowing what it is. The one who searches for happiness is an unhappy person. Longing for eternal peace of mind or happiness involves a deep discontent about life as it is. It involves rather a will to die than a will to live. This may sound shocking, but saying I want to have an eternal happy life may in fact mean it would have been better for me if I had never been born than live like this. This is why many people prefer the alternative, I do whatever I like since I don't live forever. People do not need salvation from an external danger, but from a wrong take on their own life. If you are content and fulfilled, being what you are and doing what you do, if you feel you are an indispensable part of the indestructible whole which is the world, if you are astonished every day by the miracle of your own existence, regardless of its duration and problem, then you don't feel the need to be saved or to find the way to be dissatisfied with what God gave you is to defy Him, because your way and your salvation and your life. The creed of humankind. I believe that I exist. I believe that time gives us life and stops it, but does not take it back, because time only goes forward. I believe that death is an end, and the end is fulfillment, completion, and not destruction. I believe in the power of belief to change your reality. I believe in love and friendship. I believe in faith that is not deception. I believe in knowledge, not in illusion. I want to know more, but I don't hope more than I know today. I believe in my project, but also in unpredictable future. I believe in life lived every minute. I believe in blue sky and green leaves, in a sunset that announces a new sunrise, and I also believe in the last sunrise and in the last sunset. I believe that all has an end, and that only makes them complete. But, above all, I believe in what my ancestors did good, and in what can I do to make today to be tomorrow and yesterday that will be as good as possible for me and my descendants. I believe that my ancestors believed the same, because perhaps otherwise I would not have existed and believed. I expect that my descendants would also believe that, so when the world will end, it will all be a fulfilled belief. the Ten Commandments for everybody. Being born is the most important thing. If you live with illusions, you don't really live. If you hold nothing sacred, you can't live. If you don't rest, you can't enjoy anything. There is always someone better than you. If you take someone's life, you can't use it. If you ever think that you deceive someone, that's yourself. Something that don't belong to you, can't ever be really useful to you. If you lie, that means that you hate reality as it is. That is, you hate your life. If you would rather be in others' shoes, then you feel that there is no place for you in this world. The meaning of life. Birth is our greatest reward, and death the worst punishment. We don't deserve neither one nor the other. Do not believe in those who send you to die, telling you that you are immortal anyway. Do not believe in those who punish or fight death with death. Do not believe in those who want to force their beliefs upon you. Do not believe in what I say. Only believe in your good will. Only believe in your good God. Man and the clothes. Clothes do not make the man, they say, but how we look is perhaps more important than we could ever think. If you improve your look, you can be treated like a prince. If you change your look for the worse, you can be treated like a beggar. Whoever you are, if your looks get bad, you can feel that people treat you like trash, even if they look at you wearing fake smiles on their faces. People can stare at you and like you were a strange object, a curiosity, and not a human being. Most often with apprehension, even with fear, in rare cases with pity, and in most cases with a persistence that defies common sense, and most seldom with the respect every human being deserves. Some laugh, display shock, make comments without caring that you can hear them. Others turn their heads to the other side to show you that they can't stand to see you. Sometimes you may be labeled as incurably ill or homeless, even if you are not, only by the way that you look. Even people close to you can start looking at you differently. If you are dressed in shattered clothes or you don't get recognized, even if you are the president. Other times, people are surprised to see you well dressed if your face tells them that you could rather be homeless. Just try to go out into the street dressed in filthy or hardly worn clothes and see how people look at you. No, not clothes made a man, but his character. And the respect he shows others, no matter how they may be looking, and knowing that misfortune can strike at any time. And then, depending on your character, you can end up wishing your death, or saying, "Thank you, God, for not making me worse." The people within, me at home, me at school, me at work, me with my friends, me with my love, me with myself, me yesterday, me today. We tend to believe that we always behave in a certain way, that we are either daring or shy, either logical or emotional, that we are who we know we are. But in fact, we are a bit of everything. When we have to save someone's life, the most coward of us can become the greatest hero. And one who is usually ruthless can faint when somebody bothers him just a little. We have many faces that we show willingly or not, depending on our mood or the situations we are in. Are those just masks? We are always fake. We are just playing roles. Or do we all have multiple personalities? Not at all. As it is true that a group of people can behave like a single being, it is equally true that each of us holds all the others within. When He made us, God asked, do you want to be alone or together? And we answered, together, because alone we will get bored. Then He made us so that we can only be together. And He said to us, in order to always remember that what it means to be together, I will put a bit of others in each one of you. People and power. Humankind has not survived thanks to its leaders. Most often, they have promoted war, fighting, and sacrifice. All peoples, states, and religions live through simple men and women, not through those who go to store and confront death on a battlefield, or only send others to do that, nor through those who give their lives for the belief that only death can take away from them. Humankind has lived through those who, without betraying themselves, knew that they had to obey, that the head that obeys is not cut off by the sword, but instead can find ways of melting down swords of steel and hearts of stone. We live through those who live their lives and work daily with modesty, or put their geniuses to the service of others. God only gives us the mind. People give us the power. Let's not try to take all of it, or else we will not be able to carry it, and it will crash us. We can praise power, but power will not lift us up. If you want power, beware that power will own you, and you will not own it. World cannot be governed by individuals, but by myths and institutions alone. There are no historical figures, but only legendary people built by others. Theirs is the power. However intelligent we may be, without others we are nothing. Interest groups are even more powerful than leaders of vision. But the interest group of humankind is more powerful than any other. In order to live and to be ourselves, we don't need models of heroism, sacrifice, and suffering, but models of measure and hard work, of goodwill and cooperation, of sincerity and creativity. We are all different but united, vital organs in a living body. We are people. We can't do without people nor against them. Heroism and martyrdom lead to justifications like people die for them. We can't give up now. People have died for it. It's important. We must fight on, which only increases violence. What shall we choose, the courage of sacrifice or the modesty to get back, knowing that death only leads to death? To be a martyr is to continue to believe that you are talking to someone who ceased long ago to listen and understand you. Maybe without heroes and martyrs, we would not have fierce perpetrators of bloody conflicts. With mad people, you can't have a dialogue. You can't take them seriously as listeners. If they threaten you, you better say what they tell you and think like yourself. If someone puts your knife against your neck or against your throat, you may oppose them or, on the contrary, beg for mercy, but they will still cut your throat. It's best to stand still and do what they say. That does not mean that you agree with them. That's what people always should do when they are attacked by other people. With respect to maturity and reason, we are still in our childhood. I will not sacrifice myself. I will not sacrifice myself just to please the one who wants me dead. That would mean for him to win. But if he will still kill me, I shall win. Because after that, he can't do anything better to me anymore. Instead, he will remain alive and others will be able to harm him. And anyway, he too will die one day. But wouldn't it be better if we both won? We are not guilty. I'm not perfect. I've done a lot of mistakes. Maybe I don't know enough, then teach me. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough, then enlighten me. If you are more aware, then wake up and wake me up. I know that it's hard for you to do that. The one who is mindful can easily be mindless. Some people, the more intelligent, the more mean they are. But try. Maybe you have more faith than me. Leave your faith. Some people just believe that they believe, doing many wrongdoings. Maybe you have more soul than me. If I have not enough soul, then you put it. But I'm not guilty. Nobody can convince me that if I feel bad, others will be better. Nobody can convince me that suffering is good. If somebody is in a coma, they don't wake up if you slap them on their faces. If you torture me, you don't heal me. and you don't heal yourself. If you take my life, you don't make yours longer or better. The feeling of guilt is a bad judge. It condemns good people and acquits bad people. The morning has come. It's time to wash your face, and you will see more clearly. If we see that we are not tainted, the world becomes cleaner. If we see that we have no guilt, then the world becomes better. People, be modest. You are the crown of creation, but that does not make you the kings of the world. When was the last time you hurt a human being with your words? You are the only beings that know they will die, but that does not give you the right to not let others live. Not let others live. Your soul is like a maker, but you behave like a breaker. Don't forget that every one of you is a vital part of the body of humankind. What happens in a body if the liver fights against the brain, or if the heart gives up? Don't they all die? Wicked people, animal is a normal title for you. You think you are better than a lion. It kills thieves, not for fun. Better be animal than venal. You are not beasts. You are the children of God, but don't you forget for a minute that even the virus is your elder brother. The measure of humanity. Before hurting somebody, take a minute and think about it. You will harm a human being. You will hurt her, upset her, destroy her. You will kill his body or his soul. God is the one who made that person, and he loves her with godly love. If someone harmed or killed your dearest person, how would you feel? What would you do? But you are only human. You are not like God. You can love enough to create a being. Your love is not enough as to make every person your dearest. But the sad part is that you are not even human enough as to not willingly harm other humans. You are nothing like God, even if He made you in His image. So, He would not do what you would. Our house, what we made of it. Us people are like some teenage brothers and sisters that the father leaves alone at home to take care of the house. But we, seeing ourselves masters of the house, we misbehaved. We called our friends and got drunk, got high, fought each other until we covered our faces in blood, had unprotected sex, ate all the food in the house, cut down the trees in the yard, and started a fire with them, and we tortured terribly all the animals around the house. Some of us fear that the Father will get back and punish them. But they don't know that the Father will never get back, because He does not punish, but only sets free. We will stay and live with our sorrows in this devastated home until we will realize that we should have listened to him, that we should grow up and not be the same restless and reckless teenagers. The journeys of life. Life is like an ascent on a narrow mountain path, where your balance is always at risk between the stone wall of the world and the abyss of your own mind. On this road you face two great dangers: the panic produced by the inner void of helplessness that makes you grip desperately on every break in the wall of reality, and on the other hand, the temptation of suicide by jumping in the mental cliff of useless dreams. Sometimes panic paralyzes us, reality travelers, pressing our face against this wall and stopping us to go forward towards the peak. Some other times, the thought of jumping through an escape from reality makes us waver, balancing like insecure acrobats on the edge of the inner void. But we find strength in the belief that once we reach the mountain top, we will meet God like Moses did. The journey is long. Let's not hurry, as to not lose our breath and our brethren. The road of life. The road of life has the same strength for everyone. It's just that some do not go on this road well equipped. Some forget to take their food with them. Others run out of fuel. Some get confused at crossroads and take wrong or winding roads. Others don't stop often enough to rest and can end up in terrible accidents. Many stop along the road. Just a few reach the end. Let's do all we can to reach the finish line in the journey of life. It's like in traffic. Our life, as well as others' life, depends on us. But let's not forget, life is a leisure cruise, not a business trip. So the road is the prime destination for all of us. About friendship and love. You can stand next to me even if you don't believe what I believe, or if you don't do what I say and do. Even if you always disagree with me, you can be with me. If you will do me wrong, I will try to stop you. I will not hate you. I will try to understand why. I will be hurt, not because of what you do, but because that shows that you do not care about me as I care about you. Maybe you don't like something I say or do. Maybe I don't like all that you do, but I like you, and I will like you even if I will learn that you don't like me. If you want to stay with me, I'll be glad. If you want to leave me, I will not try to force you to stay. It would be useless and an illusion. But I will try to show you that you have no reason to do that. If I don't succeed, I will suffer, but I will find consolation in a thought, and maybe you are right. Maybe we will be better that way. Whatever the case, I will not try to change you. I like you the way you are. Nobody could do a better job than the one that made you. eulogy to sleep. Sleep, the full rest. Sleep is the conclusion and fulfillment of all the ideals of humankind. Deep sleep, dreamless sleep. During sleep, reality is not suppressed but becomes virtual. It is the perfect quiet, the perfect balance. It does not deny what you did while awake, but sort of fulfills everything, for then, during sleep, you are separated from your work, you are not involved in it anymore. It's like when we turn off the computer after we finish a paperwork. The information in it does not disappear. It's just that it is not awake anymore. Sleep is not just rest. It is achievement. It is perfecting. It is perfection. God was glad after he made everything, and then he rested, because he knew there was something else to be glad of what he did. He did. He knew it. But we can't rest just when we want. There is a time for sleep, like it is a time for everything. You can't sleep all the time. You can only sleep after you are awake. Now, nobody is born sleeping. The one who tries to provoke his own sleep mistakes it for distraction. But sleep is not distraction, it is continuation. Sleep does make sense only after being awake, after action, after creation. It saves you from exhaustion and finishes your work. And when all is exhausted, sleep will come again to save us without calling it. To sleep, perchance to dream, says Hamlet. Dreams to sleep. To sleep, that's all. But not when you want, but when the hour comes. Good night. What I have learned from the woman. From the woman I have learned that audacity and courage do not exclude prudence. I have learned that originality and nonconformity have no value unless they are grounded in study and industry. From her I have learned that the biggest infirmity is not to be able to cry. I have learned that tears can make the river of hope flow. From her I have learned to offer assurance. She taught me that she needs protection, not just for her own sake, but also for her being able to defend my soul. It might sound strange, but one only learns from a woman what it means to be a man. From a woman, I have learned to live and love. From her, I have learned to be. A man can never feel what to give life means, but he can learn from a woman the strength of a woman. There is no stronger being than the woman who says, "This will not kill me, I will go on," while gently sweeping up with the back of her hand the lonely tears on her cheeks. Let's learn from her, and above all, let's try to keep her from ever crying again. the wisdom of a child. Sometimes the adult that says, you don't know, you're only a child, is more immature than the child she is talking to. The child is not always right, but he is always honest, even when he is pretending. He never hides his hunger for love. He never accepts the reality of faith, nor separation as a necessity. She wants an explanation for good and also for bad, and she wonders how God honors us with both. The child never asks, why me? Only, why not me? If you beat a child, he never asks, why are you beating me? But always, why aren't you loving me? It takes a lot of maturity to achieve the wisdom of a child. Beyond space and time. Any word that involves the notion of time, such as afterlife, hereafter, eternity, and so on, is inappropriate in those matters. The world has evolved. Our thinking must also evolve, or we will be haunted by undeserved doubts and useless quests, like those pertaining to the apparent conflict between the old faith and the new science. God is beyond time. So are we after we die. We are only left with the time we spend living. That is why we are told that after death we cannot become better or worse than we were during our lifetime. The term immortality isn't the most appropriate either, because it equals death with destruction. We die, but death doesn't destroy us. It doesn't cancel our life. The non-destruction of the soul and also of the body means the immortality of the past, of history, of the world itself as a living whole of space and time. Let's try to think and feel beyond space and time. We are limited in time and space, yet unlimited and infinite as a whole. The common injustice. Those who do evil in front of everybody claim to do good and are believed by many, and those who do good with discretion and modesty are blamed by many and are accused for the wrongdoings of the former. Life itself. Human consciousness has always been overrated. To be means not to know that you are. To be is more important than death. Animals don't know they exist, but that doesn't mean that their existence is worthless. Consciousness is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it allows us to enjoy life, and a curse because it's addictive. Consciousness panics us. We would like to always be conscious. We desperately want that. We feel we would suffocate if we were not conscious, if we were asleep and not to wake up again. What makes us complete is not knowing that we are, but feeling and understanding what it means to be. Consciousness depends upon time and space. It's me here and now. We only escape the domination of time and space and come to dominate them when our life ends. then we are beyond time and space. But then we can't be conscious anymore. We can't even dream anymore. It's strange, but we can only fully exist when we finish our existence and consciousness. The Kabbalah says that God himself only becomes conscious through human consciousness. We can only guess what it's like to be beyond time and space, but we cannot experience death. We cannot experience it. But in order to fully exist, you have to have led a full life, so as you can have what to finish, the guide to life. Behave as if the fate of the whole world depended on your behavior. Treat the other person as if she were the only person living on earth besides yourself. If something happens to her, what would you do all alone in this world? Let's treat one another as is best for all of us. Being good to others is being good to yourself. You cannot be good to yourself unless you are good to others. What's the use of cleaning up your backyard if your neighbor is full of garbage? Don't blame anyone, not even yourself. Do not punish the fault, but correct the one who falls. If they are mean, try to make them better. Don't make them meaner by accusing and inflicting pain on them. Even if you feel despised by all and treated like the last person, you can still become the most respected. How you are depends greatly on what you do. So do good things to always be good. Keep your loved ones always in your heart, and they will live forever. Put your hope in the power of belief and love in the world we build together with our minds and hearts. Even if body fails, culture prevails. Listen to your ancestors. They are hundreds or thousands of years older than you. The fact that you are born and you exist is the greatest gain. It all depends on how you manage it. The biggest loss would have been to never be born. One who wasn't born can't even die. But one who was born can lose everything. Not even death can wipe out the fact that one lives. A word of God. God is the only one that you affirm even when you want to deny. When it comes to God, everyone is right. Believers are right. God exists and is everything. Atheists also are right. God does not exist and is nothing. God is everything and nothing. Everything because nothing exists without Him, and nothing because He is beyond everything. God is not a thing or a person that you can think about or say something precise about. We can know Him, and we can't even feel Him. The important thing is not to forget that He is not all or nothing. He is not extremism and fanaticism. He is unity and oneness, and not separation. God is all and nothing. He is tolerance and acceptance. He is the love of the opposite. Some say God exists. Some say He doesn't. Some say He is this way. Some say He is that way. All are right, because God unites them all. But the important thing is not to think about Him, but do what He asks. That is, give away with modesty. God has not given the same gifts to everybody, perhaps because He wanted us to do what He does, to give. You can personally ask a Christian monk or nun, or a Buddhist monk, or a Brahmin, or a Hasidic Jew, or a Sufi Muslim, and they will all say the same. That is, I don't know who God is. I don't even care if He exists or not. He is above the human concept of God. He didn't command me anything. He promised me no reward, nor menaced me with punishment. I only know that I can't live or die without Him. We all agree that we can't see God, but there's no need to see Him, her, it, because we can see His trace in the world, the footprints of a fugitive that gave away the silence and remained unseen, as if he were ashamed and humble, and He gave so much.